The time is just gone 9 minutes to 10 a.m. as we head towards closure this morning on News and Views. And the final issue we are looking at is former SAA chair Dudu Myeni pleading guilty in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court to a charge of obstruction of justice, naming a protected witness at the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. And this was at the Zondo Commission. Joining us this morning is Advocate Stefanie Fick, Executive Director of the Accountability and Public Governance Division of OUTA. Stefanie, good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, Charles, I'm not quite surprised that Dudu Myeni has pleaded guilty, but what do we know about this case?
Well, this is the case. Let's just move back a little bit. This is the case where when she testified at the Zondo Commission, after Judge Zondo warned her not to mention Mr. X's name, she went ahead and blabbed out his name. So the charge that she pleaded guilty to was this defeating, obstructing the ends of justice, because despite being warned, she did say the name of a witness, a whistleblower that wanted to remain anonymous. So, following from that is, we all know whistleblowers is in a very precarious position in South Africa. We know about Mrs. Babita, what happened to her. There's so many other, if you are lucky to be alive, that you are struggling. So this is the seriousness of the offense. Actually twofold: the fact that you place a whistleblower's life in danger, and then secondly, just a blatant disregard for a process and the commission.
Well, certainly, and as you correctly pointed out, Stephanie, that we know what happens, sometimes to whistleblowers in South Africa, and I see this criticism leveled at Dudu Myeni has come right across the board, and even civil society watchdog body, the Right to Know campaign, also has accused her of the very same thing, putting a whistleblower in harm's way.
Yes. I think as a whole, civil society is saying that, it's always, let me say this. I think it's difficult and difficult for me to sort of criticize a court, because I drew on an objective level, realize that a court has got a duty to do. A court can only take into account the facts and stuff that is placed before it. This was a plea and sentence agreement. So, there's a lot of objective facts that one needs to take into account. And I have to assume that the court applied its mind and came to a decision that was correct under the circumstances. But let's remove ourselves from there. I think where civil society is coming from is the fact that if you look at the circumstances, if you look at the position of whistleblowers, and then if you look at, we need to protect our constitution, we need to protect our democracy. The question is this fine? Is it going to deter anybody else from doing it again? And I think, unfortunately, as civil society, we feel that, it's not. It's not going to be a deterrence. It's not going to grow that respect that should be there for processes. And then ultimately, this is not the type of sentence that I think inspires confidence that it will make people think twice before they put a whistleblower's life in danger.
Exactly. And I think, especially when one is talking about a person the caliber of Dudu Myeni, now we know she has been a very highly controversial person for a very, very long time. And, from the SAA, the debacles that were playing out at SAA, and also there was defiance in many ways, in more ways than one, and open defiance at that point in time. And that is the reason why I suppose you're saying, finding her guilty at this point in time, does the punishment befit the crime?
Exactly. I mean, you can probably not punish her for the one charge for all the offenses, but I think it is fresh in our minds the way she dealt with the commission. I can tell you, when we were busy with our delinquency application, there was the same, I actually like the word defiance, for just purely the process. And then, can I just add this? I mean, reading all the reports, I mean, one of the things she did say, she did mention the fact that she was declared a delinquent director for life, and that she's not able to, she can't get work, and can't be a director, and she's a bit older. But then one has to also consider the fact that I think she's living pretty well for someone that is apparently do not have any income. And then right after the sentence, so she's supposed to pay 60,000 rand, she pays 30,000 rand immediately. Now, for someone that's pleading poverty, that to me just doesn't compute. Maybe someone lending to her, who knows? But really, if you look at how hard it was to get her, even in our court case, in the delinquency case, the way she dealt with the commission, and the fact that, one of the previous appearances, even in the marriage court, she was just sick and didn't have any respect, I think, for the process. And one really feels that is 60,000 rand fine, is that enough?
Yes, just your thoughts. And I see the NPA Gauteng spokesperson made a comment and saying that this is a just sentence. It strikes a balance between the interest of justice, the seriousness of the offense, and the interest of the accused. Your thoughts?
Objectively, that is the purpose of a sentence. That is the triangle. We always say it's the Zen Triangle. And when a court sentence, when a magistrate judge, whatever sentence in a criminal matter, this is the pillars that they look at. So I have to say, objectively again, that even in the plea and sentence agreements, there's so many factors that you need to take into account. But here's the but. Yes, we are grateful that the NPA is actually doing something, that there is prosecution. But why should us as civil society, why should we as South Africans, we are at a point where, just thank goodness that someone is being prosecuted. No. People should be held accountable. And I don't think we should for 1 minute, or, even though we are proud of the NPA for doing at least something, there's a lot more to be done. And the minute civil society loses its voice, we're going to have a repeat of state capture. So I think it is our duty. I mean, it is really an honor to be on this platform and having this discussion with you, because I think we keep the conversation alive. And just to say to the corrupt, everybody out there, we are here and we will have our voices heard each and every time we do not agree. And we will, if the NPA or the police are not going to make sure that there's accountability, we will.
Well, Stephanie, thank you very much for that, for taking time out, talking to us this morning. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stefanie Fick, Advocate Stefanie Fick, Executive Director of Accountability and Public Governance Division at OUTA, with us this morning against the background of Dudu Myeni pleading guilty, fined 120,000 rand, or face 2 years in prison. Half the amount was suspended for 5 years, which means she got away with 60,000 rand fine, of which she's already paid 30,000 rand. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's broadcast of News and Views. I'll be back with you tomorrow, being Friday. Next up, Juice 28 by Sheikh Mishari Al-Afasi. With that, from myself and the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.